Are you losing sleep over how to securely store your Bitcoin? You know you need to get it off an exchange, but every hardware wallet feels complicated, intimidating, and honestly, not worth your expense, especially if you're just starting your stacking journey. Well, in this video, I'm going to be reviewing Tangem, which is honestly one of the easiest to use cold storage solutions that I've ever tested, and it's also one of the cheapest. But the really crazy part is that this ring that I'm wearing right now is actually the key to my Tangem wallet. It might sound like a bit of a novelty, but I'm going to go through everything, show you exactly how it works, and try and help you work out whether or not it might be right for you. Now, before we dive into the product itself, firstly, who are Tangem? Well, they're a Swiss-based company founded in 2017, and their focus is building self-custody solutions for Bitcoin cold storage, but also other cryptocurrencies. Their goal is to make cold storage user-friendly whilst eliminating the biggest single point of failure, which is the traditional seed phrase. This unfortunately has been the downfall of so many, because if you lose it or it falls into the wrong hands, your entire holding could be gone in an instant. Tangem's approach though is to effectively try and remove this vulnerability entirely by having a wallet that doesn't require a seed phrase. Now this all sounds great on paper, but how does it actually work in reality? So Tangem has two main products, both of which are designed to work without traditional seed phrases. First we have the Tangem cards, which have been around for years. And then we've got the Tangem ring, which was launched in 2024, which I've got on my finger right now. These both work in exactly the same way and are basically designed to be almost like signing devices. The keys to your Tangem wallet effectively live inside either the card or the ring, and when you want to sign a transaction, you use one of these to tap the back of your phone to confirm it. But without one of these physical keys, your coins can't be moved. Now, to get an idea of the price, the cards start at $54 or £40 for a pack of 2, or you can get a pack of 3 for $69 or £51. Then the ring is slightly pricier at $160 or £120. Now I've actually partnered with Tangem for this video, so if you use my code GLASSE at checkout, or the link down below, that will get you 10% off all your orders. But with that said, let's dive deeper into how these wallets actually work in reality, and whether or not they might be right for you. So in the box, you'll find the main device, which will be a card or a ring, and then 2 backup cards. Along with this, there'll be a QR code linking you to the app and a little bit about the product. That's pretty much it. It's very minimal, but it's all you need. Setup is also super straightforward. First, you just need to download the app onto your phone, tap Create New Wallet, scan either your ring or your card, and then choose whether or not you want to go with a seed phrase backup or a seedless. Now don't worry about this now, I'll break down the pros and cons of this later on, but for this demo, I went with Seedless, which is what Tangem recommend. From there, all you need to do is then tap each of your backup devices against your phone when prompted. The next step, you'll need to set up an access code or a PIN, and it's essential that you remember this code as you will need it every time you sign a transaction, and also recover your wallet if you lose your phone. And then finally, you can enable biometrics like Face ID, which effectively overrides the need to type in your access code when signing a transaction. What I really like though is that during this whole setup process, you don't need to give out any personal details. There's no KYC at all, and you don't even need to give them an email address. But that is literally it, and in under 3 minutes, your wallet is live and good to go. The only thing that will take a bit longer is if you choose to go with a seed phrase backup, as you will need to physically write this down and secure it somewhere. There is also the option to import an existing wallet too, if that's something that you want to do. So with Tangem, there are no cables, no Bluetooth, and no batteries. That means you never have to charge anything up or plug anything in. You just tap your card or ring on your phone every time you need to. To receive Bitcoin into your Tangem wallet, all you need to do is share your wallet address and then send Bitcoin from an exchange or another wallet that you have. Like most hardware wallets, the device isn't needed when you deposit. But when you're trying to send a transaction, this is where it becomes essential. So when sending Bitcoin, you first need to set up the transaction as normal, like in every other wallet app. Then you do all the standard stuff like setting the amount and setting your fee. And then finally, when you're happy that your transaction is good to go, you simply tap your ring or your card on the back of your phone to confirm it. If you don't have Face ID set up, you'll also need to enter your access code or PIN. But that's it, and honestly, for day-to-day use, it really couldn't be much easier. Now, this is all great, but I'm sure you're wondering, does being simple and easy to use come with a trade-off of compromising your security? What happens if you lose a card or it falls into the wrong hands? To answer that, let's now go through the recovery process and see how that all works. So if you set up with a seed phrase, If you lose all of your cards, you can restore your wallet at any time with a new Tangem, or even with any other compatible seed phrase wallet. If you go with the seedless option though, it is a bit different. So if you have 3 backup devices and you lose one, it's not the end of the world. Your other 2 will still work. If you lose 2, also the existing one will still work. But if you lose all 3 backup devices, your wallet and the Bitcoin in it is gone forever. There is no backdoor to getting it back. Now you're probably wondering, why would anyone choose a seedless option then? Well, because a seed phrase comes with its own risks. If someone finds it, they can instantly drain your wallet. Whereas with the Tangem backups, if someone finds one, they're effectively useless unless they have your access code as well. So you can scatter these across different locations, hide them in plain sight, and it should still be secure. But you do just have to be really careful not to lose them. Now, if you lose your phone, that's also not a problem either. As long as you have your backup devices and your PIN, you can just load the wallet into your new phone, and it's really quick and easy to do. Now, what happens if you forget your access code? Well, there is an optional feature that you can turn on and off, where if you still have 2 backup devices on you, you can reset your access code. But obviously that comes with another potential security risk, if someone manages to get hold of 2 of your backups. The alternative is to disable it completely if you prefer absolute security, but that does mean if you forget your PIN, your coins are gone forever, unless you set up your wallet with a seed phrase backup. Now, the final question to answer in terms of backups is what actually happens if Tangem as a company completely disappears? Well, Tangem doesn't host your funds. The app is open source and downloadable from GitHub, and their servers aren't needed to send or sign transactions. The only thing that their servers do is display portfolio values and verify authenticity. They say that in the worst case scenario, and that Tangem servers do go down, you'd still be able to access and move your Bitcoin out, but it will just be a bit less streamlined. Now onto the security side of things. So Tangem devices all use EAL 6+ secure chips. These are the same grade that biometric passports use, and also other hardware wallets. Both the cards and the ring are also IP69K rated, meaning they have the max resistance against dust, water, and extreme temperatures, going from -25 to +50 degrees. They're hazard protected and resistant to X-rays, electromagnetic pulses, and electrostatic discharges. Tangem do also guarantee the chips for 25 years if anything goes wrong, and since launching the cards, they've been pretty heavily tried and tested. So even with significant cosmetic damage, they should still work. The ring is also made from a really tough zirconia ceramic, but it is potentially a bit more fragile, as I have seen some users report that it has broken apart where the materials joined. So yes, it is tough, but it's not indestructible like regular jewellery. And is that particularly surprising? Because after all, it is still tech. Now moving on to what I think are the pros and cons of the Tangem wallet. Starting off with the positive. So these wallets are extremely simple to set up, and I think it's great for daily use. I love that there's no charging cables, and it's as simple as just tapping the back of your phone. I also really like the idea of having a seedless hardware wallet, where you don't need to worry about where to hide your seed phrase. These backups can all be hidden in plain sight, and I really like that feature. There is also flexibility though if you do change your mind about wanting to go for a seed phrase or seedless option. Be warned though, this does require moving all of your funds to a separate wallet, and then carrying out a factory reset. Durability wise, I'm also pretty impressed with Tangem, but obviously I do need more time with the ring to see how it holds up. I think it's also great that Tangem have thought through what would happen if Tangem the company does shut down, as scenarios like this are essential to think through when dealing with any crypto or Bitcoin related service. But sadly, as with any hardware wallet, it's not all positive. So Bitcoin, whilst being supported by Tangem, doesn't seem to be their top priority. Tangem have a ton of compatibility with other tokens, and whilst not being a problem, it isn't something that I'm personally interested in. I purely want this to safely secure Bitcoin. Because of this, Tangem don't support Taproot or Lightning, which I feel is a bit of a shame. There's also no option to manage UTXOs, which is really frustrating if you care about fees and privacy. Really annoyingly, you also can't generate new addresses, which again is a real issue if you really care about privacy. Also annoyingly, if you lose just one of your backups, you can't just repurchase a single card and then connect it to an existing wallet. You'll have to repurchase a whole new set and then create a new wallet. Tangem devices also can't be used in multi-sig setups with other third-party wallet apps. And Tangem is mobile only, so there is no desktop option if that's something that you care about. But finally, my biggest concern is what actually happens if for some reason all of the tech fails at once. So imagine all 3 of your backup cards fail at once and stop working with your phone. Surely if you don't have a seed phrase backup set up, your funds are gone for good, even though Tangem do guarantee it for 25 years. I know it may be incredibly unlikely, but I do think it's worth thinking about. Now, compared to other products out there on the market, how does Tangem stack up? Well, with devices like Ledger, Trezor and the Cold Card, and other traditional hardware wallets, I honestly think Tangem is a better option if you want something that's simple and easy to use, but also a bit more affordable when it comes to price. In my opinion, the problem with these more complicated devices is that they're really easy to forget how they work, and this can be a complete disaster when you really need to use them. Bitkey is the most similar to Tangem of the wallets that I've tested, and I have done a full review if you're interested in seeing a bit more about that, which I'll leave up here. Bitkey also exclusively use NFC with your phone, but they have the addition of a fingerprint scanner. This is also a great device, but the downside, it's significantly more expensive, retailing for £160, although it can sometimes be found on offer from time to time. So overall, what's my verdict? Honestly, I really like Tangem. I don't like dealing with seed phrases, so having seedless options makes sense for me. It's not perfect, but no wallet out there is, and there's always trade-offs with whatever your setup is. I do really like the simplicity though, and I think it's a great option for when you're on the go, and especially when you're traveling. Because of how easy it is to use and the price points, I think it's a great first step into cold storage if you're just starting to think about moving your Bitcoin off an exchange. The 2-card pack is the most affordable option, and with my discount code, it's only around £42 including postage. That said though, if you do go with just a 2-card backup, I'd personally feel more comfortable having a seed phrase as well, rather than setting it up with the seedless option. To me, having just 2 backups securing your entire Bitcoin wallet is just a bit too risky. And I know it's probably not for everyone, but I personally really like the ring. I think of it almost like a secure hot wallet. It's great for smaller holdings while traveling because it's so low key and easy to use on the go. For serious long-term holdings though, I think you can't really beat multi-sig collaborative custody setups with companies like Glasse, Unchained or Nunchuck. To me, they seem to be one of the most foolproof options for significant holdings. But a service like this does come at a cost, with the minimum being around $200 per year. But for smaller holdings, I think Tangem is awesome, and I think it's a great addition to any cold storage setup. Now that does cover everything for today. So if you enjoyed the video, I'd be really grateful if you could smash that like button down below, and also hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all of my Bitcoin related content. Also, let me know down below in the comments what you guys think of Tangem. Have you ever tried it, or are you now tempted to give it a go? Let me know down below. Finally, if you do want to know the top 36 things that I wish I knew about Bitcoin before buying my first coins, check out this video on screen now where I go through everything in under 14 minutes. But with all that being said, take it easy and enjoy the rest of your day.